You're listening to DJ Waynehead, ASAP, D-Tay, and JY, the Movers and Shakers Show on Texas 101 Jams.
Hi, I am Melody Willis. I'm here kicking it with the Movers and Shakers on Texas 101 Jams.
Watch and learn.
Yeah, y'all don't know the behind the scenes stuff that go on, or you should know because you be watching the video that Young Blood Legacy got going on over there.
There you go. But you'll see how we might still be giving them some gospel while we're talking.
Preach. The preach.
That man, he said,
Stay in your lane, D-Tay. Stay in your lane.
go to the studio, yeah, I'm saying
It was one of the moments like he said, how you know my name's Billy? It says it right there.
Showtime.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, so let's get right into
Let's
it.
get into it.
Pass you the ball.
We have the lovely Melanie Willis is with us today. Melody Willis.
Miss, you got
Miss.
Miss.
Yeah,
It's
I
Mrs.
don't want no smoke.
Right?
Exactly.
Mrs. Wayne.
There you go. Hey,
Melanie Willis.
Hi.
She's the profound author.
I like how you said that.
Hey, come on, man.
I like that, man.
I be shooting my percentage, man.
Using big words.
That's why I'm a, you know what I'm saying?
Big word. Go ahead, man.
Shooting. Author of Surviving Butterflies.
Revealing the mask.
Hey, listen.
Hey.
Come on, now.
Come on, man.
Down a little bit. Okay.
Come on, Billy.
Okay, we're gonna get into the book, but we gotta take it back. We gotta start from the beginning. You know, it's like a slow walk, it's like a dance.
So in 1972.
Actually, she was born in 1976, the same year I was born. You know what I'm saying? Bicentennial.
Oh.
I'm a
all right, you
older.
showing your tail.
Hey, man, listen, I told you, give me the ball. Give me the ball. I'm open.
Research.
Yeah.
I'm
I see
open.
that. I like that.
I'm open.
Well, you doing some radio today, huh?
You know what I'm saying? I'm radio.
Radio today. Yeah.
I have nothing to say.
You the rebounder. Just rebound, man.
Hey, I'm just clapping for you.
Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. So, start us off. Where you from?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
H-Town.
All right, you gotta give me a subdivision or something, because everybody say I'm from South Acres, I'm from something Homes, I'm from Dead End, I'm from.
Well, I don't rep anything, so it's just
H-Town.
Houston,
It's
Texas
just Houston,
for me. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, listen.
She said, I'm grown.
I'm grown.
Okay, so how was it for you growing up as a little girl? Was it a single household? Was it you had your mother and father?
Yes, I started off having my mother and father, and they separated when I was 15.
You was 15. Okay. How did that affect you? Being, because I'm also from a household where my parents separated as well, and I know how it affected me. So how did that affect you? How did that?
Well, I think I was more happy because my parents had fought, and my dad was, real strict. So we knew that my mom was the more lenient one. And so we,
It was one of the things like,
it was one of them things,
I hope mama get me.
I'm going with mom, So, yeah, I was glad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be with my mom.
You said they fought a lot?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. So, okay, now you with mom, you in high school. Give me that transition from being in a strict household with pops. We had to probably wear hoodies and stuff all day. and now you
Starter jackets.
started jacket. That's a fact.
Don't get the Raiders one.
Right.
Everybody got that Raiders one, didn't
Yeah, my mama wouldn't let me get that one.
At all.
They ain't about to kill you for them jackets.
Exactly.
Right. So now you're with mom, and I'm sure it's like a more feminine household now. let her express who she is type of household now. So how was that? 15, high school?
I mean, I was a typical teenager. I didn't like school because I was at Westbury.
Westbury. Okay.
So I hated that school. So by me hating that school, I didn't go. So I skipped it.
Okay.
Hey,
To be
that's a
honest.
problem. That's a solution.
It all worked out.
Something like this.
That's funny. Okay.
Do you have any siblings?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
So when the split happened, was there a split in the siblings?
Oh, no, we all came.
Everybody went with mom?
Everybody went with mom. Yeah.
Okay. So now we out of high school. What was our
Playing.
aspirations? What do we want to do? What did we do?
Well, I was in love, of course, before, high school. And
That didn't
of
happen.
course, he was a typical young man. And I mean,
So how old?
Okay,
How old?
okay. Wait. I got
What's a man?
Don't lean into it too hard.
Oh, I'm ready.
Hey, I gotta hear this one. So when you say a typical young man, go ahead and explain that for us.
Elaborate.
Typical.
Yeah,
young
elaborate,
man.
please. Elaborate.
He was,
Wait. Before
Let me get my disclaimer.
how old were you? That matters. How old were you when you
I was
fell in
16.
love? Oh, come on, detail. I mean, J-Rock. 16.
Yeah,
Come on,
16.
Well, 17.
Typical, man. We out here running around trying to.
Oh man,
anything on the
typical young man going to church.
Oh, okay, 17.
He cleaned his room.
Yup.
No, lies.
Black men don't cheat.
Typical man, a typical young man.
No, a
I know
typical
what you
young
mean.
man.
Oh,
I was
what you
17. He
Yeah.
corrected me.
Okay.
He was very handsome. He was sweet, but he was also arrogant.
So safe to say you grabbed somebody that all the ladies was on, huh?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Do you think that? This is something I've been doing my research. As I get older, do you think it was the arrogance and the way the way he just didn't care what attracted most women to him?
Go ahead, Wes.
Side
I don't know, because I was so focused on him because we had a lot in common. So we both love music. We both love movies. We were simple. So of course, I had a curfew. So had to sneak.
Hey,
But
Let's talk about these typical women now. Let's talk about these typical women over
but he was in the Army.
Okay.
So we only seen each other when he came home. So
He climbed through the window.
and I
You ain't gotta
respected
say it.
that, when he came
Yeah.
home, he had to see his family and stuff. But
So I wanna fast forward.
Oh man.
No, not too much, but so needless to say that situation didn't work out, right?
at the time,
At the time, it did. So did you eventually end up marrying this person?
yeah, he right here.
Oh, she been talking about you.
I wonder why.
Hey, come on, man.
No, she got me too. Because I thought that was the first dude.
I thought his mannerisms was like, I don't want him to talk about
this
another dude.
Oh, man. Okay, y'all over there.
I was
That's what
wondering why
happened.
she
You ain't pick up.
kept looking and then he'd look off at the door.
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming together now.
Okay, this puzzle is interesting. Okay, so she talking about you.
So she's talking about you the whole time. Huh? You was the player out
Yeah.
So we do.
The typical church going.
Black men don't do nothing but love their people. Love hard.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Wayne. You said that
Okay.
relationship.
Okay.
So that relationship never ended. We still in that relationship.
Okay, so let's fast forward. What were some of the challenges early on that y'all dealt with?
Give him the
I
mic,
guess I
man.
was young. I was 17 and he was in his 20s. And he was in, station home, so he only came home, when he was able to. But I think at the time he wasn't ready for what I was ready for. And I just eventually had to respect it.
Listen.
Whatever. Whatever.
The reason he wasn't ready for what you was ready for is because he was fighting for our country. He was making sure you was safe over
There you
here.
go. There you go.
He was fighting for you and me and us.
Yes.
He was defending the free world.
She didn't see the big picture. That's what it was.
And it's a possibility, but yeah, during the process,
You know what was going on. The man was out there trying to get it, trying to make sure me and you could be on these mics today
There we go.
because of that man serving
There you go.
our country. Salute.
Salute. Salute this typical young man.
Did you practice that?
Hey,
I didn't even know.
Boy, she say, but when he came home, he wasn't ready.
Thank you.
We gotta see what side this guy on. I'm telling you. Yo, Miss JY be hemming his ass up in that corner. You better go in there right.
You better go in there and represent us right.
I was about to say, we about to start getting calls in.
I know.
Because Miss D-Tay
I
on the
know,
line
Miss
right
D-Tay.
now.
You know
Miss
she-
D-Tay jumped in too.
Hey, Miss D-Tay.
Hey, Miss D.
Hey, Miss D-Tay.
Come off, man. Come on. So the challenges were. Let's get this.
That was it. He wasn't ready for what I was ready for.
So what was you ready for?
I'm faithful. I want to be with one person, and when I'm with that person, I love hard. And he was the love of my life. He had my heart. So,
Was. Come on now.
I mean, we're talking about
Back
then.
then.
And not saying that he still didn't, but I just had to respect that he wasn't ready for what I was ready for.
I like that.
And we still remain friends.
I like that. I like that. So was it safe to say at that point y'all actually split?
Yeah.
Ah, see, we wasn't completely wrong. They split. Okay, so now you're into another relationship. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you didn't just wait. Like I'm gonna wait for him.
Yeah.
He gonna come back
nothing else coming.
I
If you
know
love,
you be
what they say, if you love something, let it go.
Exactly.
If you love
Yeah.
let it be, it'll come back. I know you were doing that. So let's get into this next gentleman, and the reason why that's important for the listeners out there is because then we start to get into the book. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm shooting. I'm open. Pass me the ball. I'm hot today, baby.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Talk about it.
Snatch it off of there, JY. Hey, whoever leaving stuff in here for JY to move, we coming for you.
It's not gonna be here when you get back. Somebody else took it too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it. Excited. Let's get into this next one.
Let's get into the next relationship.
Well,
And how did this relationship come about?
we met at the mall, and
Shucks out.
Hey, you gotta put back. Get rebound.
I
Now, you know what side of town she from.
What's out of the
Somewhere.
outside? Oh, that's what you want to try to
Somewhere.
tell. Ain't no beef, no, I'm saying outside, baby.
We
You know
talk
what I'm
about
saying?
this side. At the end of the day, which side gonna help you pay your bills? So I'm
Exactly.
in
My side.
town.
Okay. Shortstown, we at Shortstown.
Man, tell us about your experiences at Shortstown, because I got a few.
It was okay. I just go to shop. That's it. And so he seen me, and I was like, what?
You know it's 2 sides, 3 sides to every story.
and you know what?
His side, her side,
and-
right side.
Yeah.
And he can vouch for this same story because I gave him the wrong number.
Oh, look how he said it like, I gave him the wrong number.
I did.
You know that
I'm
man was floating with all that aura around him.
Flowing through Shortstown.
He's floating through there.
Lies.
Play some smiling family stuff. If you want me to stay. He was just flying, you know what I'm saying? She saw him like,
No.
no, that wasn't it.
No.
Okay. All right, so go ahead, tell your side.
You know.
That sounds dope, though. I would think.
So how do you end up getting the right number?
He approached me again the next day as if he didn't meet me
Damn, you was right back
the
at the
day
mall
before.
again.
Like, I'm like, didn't I give you my number yesterday? You like,
Yeah, I called you.
yeah, you called. He called me, and it was like, well, you know.
So you said, okay, well, let me just go and give you the real number.
No, I told him to give me his page number.
Damn, this was
Hey,
You telling our age, baby girl. Stop. Damn, pager.
And so we ended up getting together, getting our first place together, and having a daughter.
Okay.
So, God bless.
Yes, thank you.
So how did it go from, you know, good to not so good?
Well, looking back now, the signs was there, but you know, you tend to overlook.
In love.
That's not, you know, in love, and oh no, he's, you know, just want to make sure I'm okay. You know, when he asked me, "Where you going? What time you coming back?" You know, so back then he cares. You know, so I want to say I was probably about 6 months pregnant when him and his best friend came home, and I'm paying the bills, and I guess I didn't answer a question quick enough because then he punched me in my back, and it kind of like caught me off guard, and I'm like, did he just hit me in my back and I'm pregnant?
In front of the cat that was there with his best friend? He did, okay.
He's sorry. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And this was the first incident of actual physical.
yes.
Was there any verbal abuse before that?
No.
No? Because this is
Oh, so it's the first sign.
Yes.
Anything.
First sign, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, you know, it threw me off because I'm like, you just hit me, like, for what?
Now, did he physically, or did he like
Yeah.
give you a light?
No.
It was a,
Yeah.
damn.
I mean, even the light.
I mean, playing. I'm saying like a
Yeah.
playing type of thing. Like, girl, I'm not no.
No.
So after this first incident, did you tell anybody, like your daddy, any brothers, cousin?
So you were still in shock about the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I was in
I can't believe this happened.
Yeah.
Right.
That never happened to me.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I can even remember sitting, you know, probably when I was about 7 in my driveway with my friend, and my parents fought a lot. And me telling my friends I would never marry a guy that hit a woman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people all the time, you want to make God laugh, tell me you're playing.
So,
with
yeah,
me.
Yeah,
That's a
plain.
fact.
Straight up.
That's a fact. So did you say anything to him when he did?
Yeah, I did. And he was like, well, if you would have did what I asked, you know. And so I was like, well, you know, I'm sorry, you know. And I'm like,
He said he was sorry?
no, I said I was
You
sorry.
said, wow.
Because it threw me off.
Right.
And I never
understand what you're
experienced
saying.
that before,
Yeah, I understand
you
what you're
know. So, so we went on, had my daughter, and it
Thank
got
God.
worse
Yeah.
after that. He really.
Now I got a question. Like, I mean, let's go back because, you know, I used to have to ask you something, and I want to like hit at this again. So there was in that whole time of relationship, because I've seen people who've shared their experience. I've heard of people who had these conversations, and I'm like, there's always something there. But I mean, hearing you right now, I'm like, you say like this was like totally out of the blue surprise to you. Like there was nothing that you saw that could have hinted at, you know, him, you know, even having that demeanor. I mean, because that is like ridiculous just to come home one day and then all of a sudden, pow.
No, actually,
The lights cut on.
Yeah.
actually I didn't, because after the first incident,
Like no all the way altercations with y'all.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Damn.
but after, you know, speaking to, you know, the exes, and, you know, you always want to say, you know, people say anything.
Right.
So, you know, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. But, I mean, they told me, but I was like, no, he's not. You know, he's not that person anymore. So,
So after the incident where he hit you in the back, what was the worst thing, if you would like to talk about it, that he did? What was the thing that just broke the camel's back? You was just like, enough is enough.
I was getting ready for my employee appreciation.
Okay.
And it was raining real bad, and he never really supported anything, you know, as far as my events. So he was like, I'm gonna go. I'm like, why? You know, still a question. And I think that day I was just so tired and I was so fed up. And we ended up arguing, and I pushed him. And he pushed me back. I hit him, and he hit me back. And the last thing, what really did is when he put the pillow over my face, tried to smother me, and hit me in my face. And I was like,
Let me ask this: were there any, I guess, substance involved, drugs, alcohol, anything like that?
oh,
Wow.
Now, if I can ask you, because I kind of see it's uncomfortable for you, like you don't like to hear this. I can see it on your face that it bothers you to hear that something happened to your wife, that your wife went through this.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it because when she talks, you look like,
Yeah, that's because that's some hoe ass shit.
yeah.
Call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because there's many straws on his back. That was the final one that you
Yeah.
said. So what was that process? Because I know it's not easy. A lot of times the abuser in the situation don't like to let you go. So what was the process in you getting yourself out of it?
I'm sorry. An incident with him and my son happened, and where the police was called out. And even though I was, you know, gradually just moving stuff out the house, because I found a place for me and my kids. But that day it was perfect because police was involved, and my brother came, and I just told my girls, go get your clothes, we're gone. And I never looked back.
Did the children ever witness anything?
Yes.
So I'm sure they was ready. They
Yeah, it was.
kind of had the same type of feeling you had when it was time to go. You said, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how old were your children at the time?
My son was 19, my daughter was 16, and my baby girl was 13.
Okay. Now, we're out of that situation, right? And we decide, you know, how do I heal? What's the way? What way? Because it's not just over. Once you leave, it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It still has to be a healing process, right? So, talk to the listeners about that process, because everything, like I said, is steps. It's all steps.
Well, once I left, I went and stayed with my brother, and now we preparing for Harvey. And I remember telling my brother and my sister-in-law that I was gonna go take a bath, you know, so we can get, you know, ready for whatever, because I like to take a bath, stay clean.
I really this next to God.
So
Take a bath.
I'm debating with myself, well, should I lay down? Should I go take a shower? And so I told my son, I'm gonna go ahead and take my shower. He was like, all right, Mom. So as I'm getting into the tub, I slip and I hit my head. And my son told me, you all right? I said, yeah, I'm all right. So as I'm taking a shower, my head started hurting. And so I was able to get myself dressed. And as I was walking into the room, my son was like, Mama, you okay? And I sat down, and that's all I remembered. So I had a major stroke. I lost feeling to the left side, damage to my brain, and I have cardiomyopathy. And I was in ICU for 4 days. And during that time, I think that's when God was really dealing with me. Because the signs was there. And I was like, well, I'm trying to stick in there for my daughter. Because I came from a broken home. And so I kind of want to break that family curse.
Right.
And then at the same time, as a wife, you know, just praying and trusting God. But it was like, I remember my doctor asked me, do I want to live or die? And I was like, I want to live because it affected my health. And, you know, dealing with cancer, and that's my third stroke I had.
Wow.
So he was like, you know, you have to make some decisions.
Right.
Because it's going to cost you your life.
Right.
So it
Right.
almost
Okay,
did.
I understand why you
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
Now I understand. Right. Because the first time you said, I'm like,
Legitimate
what the
question.
fuck? But you gotta, yeah, you gotta change different habits.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's a legitimate question because it's like, do you want to live or die? If you want to live, well, we got to change this whole behavior.
Right.
You know what
And
I
see,
mean?
there was a sequence in which she said it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm like, damn, she went to the hospital. You want to live or die?
Like, man.
But I understand now.
Yeah. So those 4 days, you know, me being in the ICU, I just really had time to just really meditate and think about a lot of stuff because my family couldn't come to me because we was flooded in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because people never know you can be alone in the midst of a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's deep, right?
and at the same time, I was like, why people didn't know what I was going through. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I was angry with my family. I was angry with my mom because I was like, if she would have left the first time it happened, then it would have taught me to not deal with it.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So I had all this anger in me, and I didn't know how to deal with it. But God it was like He just dropped me in a valley of darkness. Because now I have to take responsibility for my action because I wasn't held hostage. I chose to stay.
Yep.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not just gonna point the fingers just at him
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't hold or held me hostage. I chose to stay in that.
You know, it's crazy. While everybody's preparing for Harvey going through a storm, you're going through another storm.
Storm within a storm.
Within a
Within the
storm.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, it makes you look at life like in a different way, you know? And I always preach that my glass is always half full. It's never half empty, you know? Because it's always somebody going through a lot
A lot
more
worse. Yeah.
than what you're going through. And this is a situation, right? Where you see abuse and you see, you know, you think you got it bad because you ain't got no food in your refrigerator because Harvey got
Or
you
you ain't got
flooded
the
in.
latest sneakers on. Yeah.
But she's going through a
Yeah.
traumatic problem.
Bro, I always say, when you think you got it bad, your bills ain't getting paid, let the doctor say you have cancer.
For
True.
real.
Mm.
We would give
All them bills,
two hells about
I just want to live.
Yeah.
That's
Everything
it.
changes.
You ain't gonna care about them bills then.
Right. So, you had a moment with God, right?
Mhm.
And so, what was God telling you in that moment? I don't want to go too far because this is some deep stuff right here.
I sent the boat that you asked me to send,
Mm.
and you allow it to continue to pass.
Pass you by. So you
Because
said continue too.
It wasn't, yeah.
So he sent it more than one time.
sent it more than one time.
Wow, that's deep.
So because it didn't look like how I wanted it to look,
Mm.
I thought it wasn't God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah,
deep.
that's not God. Because I was
That's
like,
deep.
you know, in the Bible, you know, divorce is not good. But then I was like, in the Bible, it don't say be stupid neither.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stupid. So now I'm beating myself up because it's just not him. It was me too. Because I allowed him to do it. I left and I went back. I did the same thing my mama did.
I was gonna say you can attribute that to just learned behavior.
Right.
Learn behavior.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
So now I'm angry with her that much more.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you would have stayed gone,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, I
I
wouldn't have
wouldn't
to deal
do
with
You
it.
would have showed me something different. I would do
Exactly.
something different. I got
Do
you.
something different.
So how do you, go ahead, D.
No, I was just saying. Wow. I was just.
Man, I just want to know, how do you, after this situation, how do you mentally, physically prepare yourself to get back with your husband? To be
Well, I
back?
went through a lot of therapy and counseling, and I remember one of my sessions. We were just talking about my childhood, and she asked me about my first love, and I'm like, "What they got to do with it?" You know, and she was like, "You know, let's just talk about it." You know, and she asked me what was his name, and I was like, "His name's Jesse." And
What? Come on, man. Come on, man. We ain't
And
doing
she
that.
was like,
Hey,
wait.
just dog, baby.
Yeah. J-Dog.
J-Dog.
And she was like, man, you said his name, you know, and this glow, you know. I'm like, you know, no, you know, that's over, you know. And she was like, but speaking of everybody, this was the only person that just made you smile. And I was like, yeah, he all right. And,
Styling over there.
And so she gave me a task. She said, well, how about you reach out to him? I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. You know, y'all got pride, we do too. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't doing that one. And so I end up hitting him on Facebook. And I'm like, he ain't gonna respond, you know. So he ended up responding. So I think it was a Wednesday. And I could tell he had a hard day. And I was like, so when we gonna hang out and get a drink? Oh, we can do Friday. I'm like, well, I got to wait till Friday. He's like, all right, where you want to go?
I'm open.
So we went and grabbed a drink. I can't look at it. I'm in the car and I'm like, okay, I'll be fine as long as he don't touch me. You know what I'm saying? This could be a smooth, you know, smooth thing. No, you know, when we walked up, you know, he's like, I'm here. I'm like, okay, I'm about to get out the car. And so we get, you know, side hug or whatever. We
you came to church hug? You came to church hug? The space in between?
I'm trying to hit with that old school.
While you in the car, right?
Why you sitting way over there?
But I'm sure there was a lot of challenges when y'all got back together because of what you've been through.
Sure.
Like, what were some of those challenges that y'all was facing?
I know for a fact he would never raise his hand to me, but it was like I have points, you know, so I didn't want him to, you know, approach me this way, or, you know, do this, or if he wasn't on time or he didn't call, it kind of, you know, irritated me. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm not about to deal with this, you know. And so I kind of, you know, I have my moments where I, you know, let him in, then I shut him out.
Which is natural for what you went through. It's natural.
Yeah.
You know, and like he was saying, you know, to piggyback on what DJ was saying, you know, people grow apart. You know, you guys was together for a while, so I'm sure different things change in your life. Where, you know, it's a challenge to try to bring it back. Now, for Jesse, for J-Dog.
J-Dog, that's his name, J-Dog.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
How was it when she first told you what she went through? How did that, I mean...
Well, I didn't fully know everything she had gone through. It was just like, just learning stages, you know. I was just like under the impression she just went through a bad relationship, but I didn't know to what extent that relationship was. And then I'm just, you know, learning more and more about the extent, and it just pisses me off.
I'm sure.
He wanted to put them paws on.
Put them paws on. Yeah. He wanted the dog walking around. So here we at surviving butterflies.
The surviving butterfly.
The surviving butterflies. Thank you. Good pass.
Put the tip back in.
Tip it in.
I got you.
When did we get there? I mean, what gave us the title? I mean, give us.
What gave us the title was my husband.
Look at him. I already contributed. He come
J-Dog.
The yacht. The yacht. You know what I mean?
Because just briefly telling him about what I went through, and I was like, you know, I just want something with stages, because it's a stage, you know, it's different stages. And I'm like, now, you know, we at the end, I'm happy, you know, my kids, we at peace, you know, we finally have a home. And he was like, the butterfly. It's about a butterfly. It's like, I like that.
Miss, you know what's funny? You right with your kids. Miss DT asked that question. She said, how did it affect you raising your kids now after everything?
Good shot.
Good shot. Good shot. Show your husband.
Look at your baby.
with my son, he played football, so that was his outlet.
Okay.
And so when he couldn't play football
I feel
anymore,
sorry for the
he
kids.
couldn't, he didn't know how to direct the anger. And my daughter, she's a dancer.
Wow.
And so she danced through her pain. And she still do.
Nice.
And
nice.
and it's like my middle daughter, she really just trying to find her way. And I didn't know how bad it affected them. Because then I found out my middle daughter was doing weed. Her and my son. My baby girl, she was cutting herself and she wanted to kill herself.
Wow.
And so I had to apologize to them because I'm the reason why they're the way they are. And
I wouldn't say you per se. I just to say, the way life, the cards life dealt you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame it directly on you. It's just the cards life dealt
And
you.
like we go back to what we were saying earlier, you didn't know better.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's just our life. Life is. It's
Right.
what is
Yeah.
up and down.
Ups and
It's up and
downs.
down.
Yeah. Peaks
So-
and valleys.
Like you said, that butterfly, man, it's a developing process.
That's a
man.
fact.
Yes.
That's a fact.
So when will the book be available, and where can the people get
It will be
it?
available June
Okay,
of this year.
Okay.
The book and the documentary will be released on the same day.
Can I ask you, is it going to be an audio book as well?
I can make it one.
Please.
Okay.
because That's how
talking to
we
him
work
last
night.
night.
We
Okay.
work on machinery. They don't let them hear that. I'll be listening to
Oh yeah.
books
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
night.
me too.
I was just
Okay.
asking Wayne last night. I said,
I don't know
"Man,
what
is it
y'all
all
talking
book?
about.
'Cause
I'm
I
the
can't
best
find it."
employee.
Yeah, it hasn't been released
I know.
yet. Yeah, we just finished it because with my documentary, I wanted to end it with my wedding.
There you go.
So,
I got one last question.
Yeah, yeah.
I read a post you put on Instagram, and it said, "A strong black woman never let a tear stain her face." I thought that was one of the most profound things that I read.
That's true. I've never seen my mama cry. Well, one time she cried in the closet.
You know, I never seen my mom's cry. God rest her soul. I never seen her cry either. But my mom's was like part crazy. She was. Yeah, my mom.
No, we're not trying.
Nah. Anybody in my family gonna say,
Oh,
yeah.
that's great. Okay.
My mom's was out there. She was a fighter and stuff like that.
Mine too.
My mom's actually sold weed too,
I
but
don't know about it.
I never seen her cry. But I just want you to explain that. To
just
people.
looking back over my life, because that's all I did.
Mhm.
I was in a dark place, and I tried to kill myself on 3 occasions. And just crying. I was like, who is this person? Because I no longer know who I am.
Got you.
So I had to find myself. I had to start loving myself and stop, being what other people want me to be. Because I'm here because God called me to be. And so when I started loving myself and, loving my imperfections, because we fall short in that. Because if, we not a size 4 or 6 or got this and, ways, we feel we're not good enough. And I'm good enough. And I asked God, I said, if it's meant for me to, marry again, then you have to accept me for who I am.
And my interpretation I got from it is, even though I've been through all this pain and suffering and different things, you'll never know it because I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm in such a great place right now.
I'm not gonna let that.
If you don't know
define
me, you won't know my story unless I tell you.
And that's true. Because that was my first conference, removing the mask, because people didn't know I went through all that, because I masked it well.
And I want to salute J-Dog.
Yeah. Shout out J-Dog, man.
Yeah.
Give all the glory to my boy
AKA
J-Dog. He came through. The yacht.
Yeah.
The yacht.
The
Yacht master.
Yacht master. You know what I mean?
Well,
Salute, man.
how can people reach out to you if they want to give you some words of encouragement, find out more about the book, or you also have your business owner, you own a tax business.
Entrepreneur.
Yes.
Entrepreneur.
Okay, can you go plug that?
Yeah, plug it in.
Yes,
It's about
I
that time
do
of
taxes
year.
in
a fact.
38 states.
Okay.
Getting that
Yes,
bag.
and, I mean it's a passion, and I'm just not that tax company where you just come in, sit in my chair. I educate my clients. I don't do no illegal stuff because I'm not going to jail. But I had the privilege of being mentored by millionaires, and they taught me their secret. And so I teach my clients their secrets. So,
That's dope.
and I teach them how to leave legacies
Share.
for their kids.
So you give me that 20?
Huh?
You give me that 20?
20 what, dog?
I'm on the legal man.
20 bands.
I need 20 alone.
All right.
Sure. Way.
What's the name of your business?
Wisdom Tax and Financial Services.
You have a website also?
Yes, www.wisdomtax.org.
I haven't heard nobody say www.
And what's your social media
Yeah,
handle?
that's what you hear most.
Melody Willis on Facebook and Mrs. Melody Willis on Instagram.
Mrs. That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on the Movers and Shakers show, Miss
Thank
Willis.
y'all for the invite.
It's been amazing. Shout out to Q for the plug.
Yes.
Salute.
Man. Hey man, there y'all have. Make sure y'all get that book when it come out in June.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
A
let's
lot
go,
of people
man.
need to hear that story. Man.
Exactly. I can't wait.
Audio book.
Hey,
You know,
there you have
that's
it.
one of the best inventions. Right?
Movers and Shakers, DJ Wayne here.
ASAP.
D-Tay.
JY.
Man, we checking out with Miss Melody Willis.
And the yacht.
Master.